Live from the BDN Studios, it's Bang and Dang.
That's awesome.
If you don't like that, then
You ain't black.
Welcome back to Outlaws, Gunslingers, with your host, Bang and Dang. It's the first Tuesday of the month, and you know what that means. It's a Mafia time, where we are continuing on with the Gambino family. I got news for you guys. For the next 6 months, we are still on the Gambino family. This is the longest we've been on a family. Was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12? It'll be a whole year on these guys. Holy moly.
12 episodes.
Right. A year. Since it's once a month.
All right. 12 episodes.
Yeah, and all the other ones were 7, 8, 9. But those weren't once a month, though, back then.
Should have been.
Either way, we're wrapping up the bosses, the official, well, not the official and acting head bosses of the family on this episode with the current boss and 2 acting bosses, and plus one of these guys. You guys might remember just got moited right in front of his own house a couple years ago. So then move into some of the underbosses, and of course Sammy the Bull. Probably gonna end it all. So go check out our YouTube at Bang Dang Network. Subscribe. If you're just listening on Apple, Spotify, give us a subscription there. Share us with your friends. Give us a review. Answer that Spotify question. Starting out the day with the current, well, believed to be current boss, Domenico Cefalu, who, there's nothing about this guy on the internet. He was born in 1947 in Sicily, and he has nothing on him.
Wow.
Besides one arrest, I believe, which anything else involving this guy, nothing.
Probably a good thing.
The only person, well, we got Frank Cali and Lorenzo Mannino. Frank Cali is the one that got killed, and that's the only reason why anything on him, because obviously he got killed.
Right.
And Lorenzo Mannino has really nothing on him, and he's the front boss, quote unquote, as we speak as well. So, well, these are the guys in charge of what we know of the Gambino family today. Starting out with Domenico Cefalu. He's supposedly been the boss since July 2011 when Gotti stepped down or went to prison for the last time. Born in Palermo, Sicily. I believe that. A Sicily guy. 1947, after moving to the United States, he became involved in organized crime and started smuggling heroin for the Gambino family. March of 82, he was convicted of heroin smuggling along with 10 other men, including his uncle and cousin, and served 6 years. 1990, Gambino boss John Gotti inducted him as a made man. Oh, only in 1990, huh? He was a member of the Sicilian Zip crew headed by Captain Pasquale Conte and operated in Queens and Brooklyn.
Fantastic. Look at that.
Not very many Sicilian-born mobsters in the 80s and 90s and stuff.
No. And a made man, too. Look at that.
Finally, in the mob for 40 years.
Right. 1992, New York grand jury summoned Cefalu to testify in an investigation of Conte. After answering a few questions, he refused to testify. The judge sentenced Cefalu to 18 months in jail for civil contempt. That's bullshit. February 23rd, 1993, Cefalu was summoned to testify in Conte's trial.
Oh, come on.
But again, refused. And on the 6th of February, 1994, Cefalu was released from jail.
Like, we ain't getting none out of him.
All right, let him go. However, on the 6th of February,
That very same day.
the very same day he was released from jail, he was indicted on criminal contempt for refusing to testify at Conte's trial.
Jeez.
Holy shit. These assholes do this all the time. Like, right when you're about to get out. They're like,
Not so fast.
What's the magic word? 1996. Convicted of criminal contempt. The court sentenced Cefalu to 33 months in prison.
Another 2 years, 2.5 years? It's ridiculous, man. Well, in 2005, he was named family underboss by street boss and former ally of John Gotti, Jackie D'Amico. One of his main responsibilities was overseeing the Sicilian faction of the family. February 7th, what's up with February 6th and 7th around with this guy? He was indicted again on multiple charges of racketeering, conspiracy, and extortion as part of the Operation Old Bridge investigation of the family. The extortion charges came from the trucking industry, which hauls away dirt excavated from construction projects.
Oh, shit. Look at this guy. He accepted a plea agreement from the prosecution in exchange for a guilty plea that could have resulted in his spending up to 3 years in prison. Might as well. He already did it twice.
Right.
He was sentenced to 2 years in prison and was released on November 3rd, 2009. So he only did a year. July 2011, became the official boss of the Gambino family. His ascension was seen as a return to the old-fashioned way of running a mafia.
Yeah, they're like, we're tired of this Gotti bullshit.
Right. He replaced Peter Gotti, who had been sentenced to life
not Gene Gotti, yeah.
in 2002, while a series of acting bosses and ruling panels was used to run the family at that time. This also marked the end of the Gotti era of the Gambino family. Oh shit! Yeah, that was a rough.
Gotta get Gotti.
That was a rough 30 years.
It was all
20 years.
His whole time as boss. Everybody was in prison. All the Gottis.
Because they're idiots. Every single one of them are morons. Makes no sense.
And that's literally all we have on this guy.
What are you gonna do?
He got elected to boss supposedly in 2011, and we don't know nothing about him since then.
I guess that's good, right?
I guess so. For them, yeah.
For him, yeah.
Moving on to Francesco. Not good for this guy.
Right.
Francesco Paolo Augusto Cali. They call him Frank.
Call him Frank Cali.
He was also known as Frankie Boy. He was the acting boss of the family at the time of his death, which we'll get to. He was born March 26, 1965, in New York to Augusto Cesare Cali and Agata Schiamecca, both natives of Palermo, Sicily.
Nice.
His father ran a household goods store in Palermo and ran a video store in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn. He had a clean police record in the United States, even though he was mentioned in the Pizza Connection investigation. What the fuck is that?
Oh, shit.
That's where police discovered that he was a partner of Domenico Cefalu, allied to Sicilian Mafia boss Gaetano Badalamenti.
We'll go back to that Badalamenti.
Yeah, he had
guy's a mean motherfucker.
He had some nice little Sicilian ties.
It's good. Those guys were still the ones running the shit. Frank Cali was the nephew. Well, he was a nephew-in-law of Sicilian mobster John Gambino, and had close ties to the once powerful Sicilian mafia family led by Salvatore Inzerillo. Cali was also a great-nephew of Bonanno crime family mobsters Giovanni Bonventre and Vito Bonventre. You guys remember those guys?
It was just a lifetime of mob.
Right. As a young man, Cali bonded with Gambino mobster Jackie D'Amico, a lieutenant of Gambino boss John Gotti, who operated a crew on 18th Avenue in Brooklyn. He was a Brooklyn boy. January 1997, FBI reported to Italian authorities that Cali had been combined into the Gambino family.
Just combined, huh?
Right.
He was promoted to acting capo when D'Amico became acting boss. Cali ran several import-export companies in Brooklyn, including Circus Fruits Wholesale in Fort Hamilton, Brooklyn.
Oh.
According to FBI files, Cali fell on the Bureau's radar in the spring of 96 when he was about 30 years old for helping to skipper a phone card fraud scheme for the Gambinos from a Park Avenue office building.
Fantastic.
By November of that year, FBI agents in New York believed several Gambinos were involved in the quote-unquote production and distribution of telephone travel cards.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez. You know it was back in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And that they committed a number of federal crimes as part of the scheme, including money laundering, income tax violation, mail fraud, and wire fraud.
Oh, shit. A bunch of frauds. Jeez, oh, Peter. And an FBI official wrote this: "It goes without saying that the telephone card industry is one of the most important sources of illegal income for the Gambino crime family."
La Costa Nostra.
Wow. At that very time, Cali was listed in the FBI files as a proposed soldier for the Gambino family, and feds believed that he had not yet been made or taken a blood oath of loyalty to the syndicate he would later lead. October 1997. FBI special agents in New York contacted the Bureau.
The Burus.
Contacted the Bureau Atlanta's office to appraise them of an apparent $94 million phone card bust-out scheme led by Gambinos that targeted Georgia-based WorldCom. Damn, dude, phone cards were that big of a hit?
Man, people called collect all the time. But you got to use the payphones.
Right.
The method was to sell as many phone cards as possible on the street by charging the best price per country and offering the best discount to the distributors. This is what one of the FBI reports state. Redacted, apparently not going to find out who that is, but somebody paid WorldCom only a small percentage of his outstanding balance throughout the 10-month scheme.
Oh.
It adds Gambino members such as Redacted and Frank Cali and others line their pockets with millions in cash from the aforementioned scheme. Redacted must be an informant.
Well.
Cali, yeah. Cali, along with Gambino members John D'Amico and Joseph Watts, allegedly created a company called CNC to distribute the phone cards, flooding the market with the cards that would later be billed by WorldCom.
Nice.
Wow.
Look at these guys. At least it wasn't drugs. Due to the flood of cards, the debt owed to WorldCom grew exponentially.
Oh, jeez.
In the beginning, CNC paid their debt was considered trustworthy by WorldCom. However, CNC did not continue to pay. A March 7, 1997 FBI document states that. And around this very time, though, the feds appeared to take an increased interest in Cali, according to documents. They began trailing him in Brooklyn, photographing him with associates on 18th Avenue in Bensonhurst, and they also interviewed confidential sources about Gambino, about this Gambino soldier. They're like, who is this guy and what is his role? Is he more than a soldier? Does he has any say?
Does he has any say? In one October 97 report, an FBI agent recorded doing a spot check on a location on 18th Avenue between 72nd and 75th Streets in Bensonhurst, according to the files. Agent recorded an unidentified Mark walking with Cali before entering the Point After Sports Bar and Grill. Point After Sports Bar and Grill, huh? Stupid name.
Right.
In July of that year, an agent drew up a report titled Surveillance of Frank Cali on 18th Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, which included photographs of Cali and several other people as they visited Tony's Luncheonette in the neighborhood. FBI also listed him as a recently made member in the Gambino family in a March 97 communication.
Look at that shit.
Uh-oh. Well, they know.
Oh, man. A federal grand jury related to Cali was convened in 1998 in the Eastern District of New York, but charges against him were never brought.
Didn't have enough.
Federal charges for a phone card scam were later filed against John Gotti Jr., the reputed leader of the Gambino family at this very time, but they were also later dropped. Jr. said this, I was a victim. I lost a lot of money on that deal.
Oh, poor guy.
That's what he told the Post.
Poor guy. Well, Cali also maintained ties with the Sicilian Mafia. He married Rosaria Inzerillo, a sister of Pietro Inzerillo, and a relative Gambino associate, Frank Inzerillo, who was a member of the Sicilian Inzerillo family.
Oh, nice.
In the early 80s, after losing the second Mafia war against the Corleonesi of Totorina, and the Inzerillo family was forced to flee Sicily. There's a lot of shit going on in Sicily.
That TV show, Gomorrah, dude. That's pretty good.
Heard of it.
Decent.
Cali and the old Palermo boss, Filippo Casamento, supported the return of the Inzerillos to Palermo, according to Italian authorities. According to the Italian Polizia di Stato, who was the state police, Cali was also a member of the Sicilian Cosa Nostra.
Oh.
Damn, he's both.
Fantastic.
He was a contact for Sicilian mafiosi who traveled to New York to meet him, do business, and update him on Sicilian affairs. Dude, he's not even Sicilian. Well, he is Sicilian, but he's born in New York. And Cefalu, well, he might have ties to him too, but who knows about that guy. But
wow. He's our friend, and he's everything over there. Sicilian mobster Gianni Nietzsche said that to his boss, Antonio Rotello, after a trip in 2003. He's our friend, man. He's everything over there. Got it all.
They love him.
Right. Nietzsche is known to be on Cali's Men of Honor, who went back and forth between Palermo and the United States for drug trafficking. Nietzsche, he finally settled in Daytona Beach, Florida, where he was known to employ high school students as drug runners. Fantastic.
Early 2003, Cali and fellow captain Leonard Lenny DeMaria began extorting mob taxes from Joseph Villaro, the owner of a trucking and contracting company that was involved in building a NASCAR speedway on Staten Island. Oh. Villaro was eventually forced to pay tens of thousands of dollars as tribute to Domenico and Gambino boss Nicholas Carrazzo. In 2004, to avoid prison time for a cocaine conviction, Villaro began working with federal authorities as an informant. Oh. His undercover work led to a massive indictment 4 years later, which is going to include our buddy.
8th February 2008. Cali, 61 other New York Cosa Nostra associates were arrested and charged with federal racketeering. This was part of the Operation Old Bridge. Old Bridge terminated the drug trafficking between the Sicilian Mafia and the Gambino family.
Did they?
Prosecutors claimed that Cali acted as the Gambino ambassador to Sicilian mobsters. And as a go-to between Domenico and the Sicilian connections to the Inzerillo family. Cali, he was charged with racketeering, extortion, conspiracy, along with Domenico and DeMaria.
After his one arrest in 2008, federal prosecutors in Brooklyn highlighted Cali's involvement in the phone card scheme and arguing he'd be locked up pending trial. Why?
Right.
At a detention hearing, prosecutor Joey Lipton told the judge that Cali, who had risen to the rank of captain at the time, had been a successful criminal because of his ability to hide from the spotlight.
Right.
He says Cali, like other members of the family, has sworn a blood oath to the organization to commit criminal activity.
Oh.
He has been successful in fulfilling that oath in large part because he's been careful.
Oh.
Up until now.
Right. Which we haven't seen in the past 20 years has been the stupidity. I mean, come on. Wow.
Well, you've got to figure at the same time, 2008, the head of the family's in prison getting busted for stupid shit.
The head of the family's been in prison for the past 20 years.
Well, right.
4th of June, 2008. Cali, he pled guilty to conspiracy to extort money from Valero. He was incarcerated at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. 10 months later, 6th of April, year 2009, released from prison.
That's not that bad.
Around 2009, Cali's uncle, John Gambino, he was elevated to the family's ruling panel, according to court papers filed in Brooklyn Federal Court.
I don't think that's true.
They just print anything.
Right.
It's like you can indict a bologna sandwich. The United States Justice Department demanded that Cali avoid all contact with Gambino and his family, though. Except for weddings or holiday celebrations approved in advance by Cali's probation officer. I'll be having a party every
weekend.
Like, how many family members you got? We're Italian.
Oh, come on, we got everybody.
Everybody's family.
October 2012, he was at...
Everybody's family.
Everybody's family. This should be like a pizza commercial or a pizzeria commercial. Come on in, everybody's family. Right. October 2012, he was identified by New York crime reporter Jerry Capecci as the new underboss of the Gambino crime family. Okay.
And where did Jerry Capecci get this information from?
Right. Brooklyn federal prosecutors had also referred to him as an underboss. Capecci has previously identified Domenico Cefalu, a member of as the current boss.
Right.
Though his status remained unclear, the promotion of both men follows a period in which John Gambino was a street boss within the family, showing that a Sicilian group has remained dominant in recent years.
Right.
July 2013, it was reported that Cali turned down the position of boss of the family.
No shit.
Did he, though?
August 2015, New York Daily News reported Cali had taken over as acting boss of the Gambino family. A September 29, 2018 article stated that Cali infused the family with zips, which are hoodlums from the old country, and bulked up its heroin and OxyContin business. 2019 March, police investigating Cali's death publicly claimed that he had been the acting boss of the Gambino organized crime family.
And then, speaking of, he died. Staten Island University Hospital, March 13, 2019, at the age of 53 after being shot.
Oh, shit.
About 9:20 p.m. in front of his home on Hilltop Terrace in the Tot Hill area. He was buried 6 days later at Moravian Cemetery, New Dorp, Staten Island.
Damn.
This was the first murder of a New York crime boss since the 1985 assassination of Paul Castellano,
Oh, shit.
who was also boss of this very Gambino family.
Damn.
Surveillance video showed a pickup truck striking Cali's parked Cadillac, a subsequent confrontation between the driver and Cali, and then the shooting. He had tried to evade the killer by using his vehicle as a shield. Didn't work because he was hit 10 times with bullets from a 9mm.
Holy shit. Poor guy. Damn. 16th of March, 24-year-old suspect Anthony Camello.
It's about to get weird here, guys.
He was arrested in Brick, New Jersey by the New York Police Department and United States Marshals to face murder charges on Staten Island.
It's about to get weird.
Authorities originally believed the crime had been related to a personal dispute, possibly a romantic matter, and not even organized crime at all. 3rd of April, Camello indicted, held in custody in an undisclosed New York City correctional facility.
I bet. Well, court documents revealed that while the two men were standing near their respective vehicles, Mr. Camello informed Mr. Cali of his true intention to effect a citizen's arrest and ordered Mr. Cali to submit to detention.
Oh, shit.
The document states, adding that Camello brought handcuffs with him and planned to restrain Mr. Cali and bring him to the appropriate authorities to answer for the criminal actions which Mr. Camello believed he had taken part in.
Whoa.
It gets weirder.
Holy shit, what the fuck?
It gets weirder.
After a heated exchange, Mr. Cali made a furtive action with his hand, and Mr. Camello became afraid for his life.
Yeah, I bet.
He reached into his vehicle, withdrew his gun, and shot Mr. Cali in self-defense.
9 times.
That's what the document states.
Right.
Camello's defense attorney has already submitted a notice of intent to show evidence of mental disease or defect, the document also stated. Had Mr. Camello simply intended to lure Mr. Cali out of his house and murder him, there would have been no need to bring any elements of restraint. The presence of these handcuffs demonstrates that Mr. Camello was actually planning to effect a citizen's arrest on Mr. Cali rather than to shoot him. Handcuffs could be made for anything.
Right.
A judge denied Camello's attorney's request for bail in May.
Yeah, I bet he did.
He's like, that don't sound...
Why would you want to let him out anyway? He's about to get killed as soon as he walks out of the porch or the steps. May 10th, Camello pleaded not guilty to the murder and weapon possession charges, although he had initially confessed to the murder to the police.
Oh, right, because he thought he can get away with it.
One news report cited unnamed mob experts as stating that he is almost certainly marked for death.
Uh-oh.
Camello had already texted that his family is marked.
Uh-oh.
July 2019, his defense attorney stated that Camello had become obsessed with QAnon conspiracy theories.
Oh, shit.
Believing Cali was a member of a deep state.
Oh, no.
I told you this is going to get weird.
There's a deep state, but Cali ain't in it. Camelo was convinced he was enjoying the protection of President Trump himself.
And that gave him the right.
That gave him the right to handcuff Cali and place him under citizen's arrest. As Camelo had attempted months earlier as well with New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio. When was this? I don't remember any of that. As well as California member of Congress Maxine Waters. Jesus, dude, just walking up to everybody and like, under arrest.
Trying to citizen's arrest these motherfuckers.
The reason why Cali was targeted was very unclear. Well, if he's trying to arrest these guys.
If he's supposed boss of the family,
New York Times reported that at his first court appearance, Camelo displayed symbols and phrases associated with QAnon scrawled on his hand in pen. Oh, no, that's going to make it even worse, especially in New York.
Yeah, there's a picture of him with, he's holding his hand up with fucking MAGA and all this shit on it.
Dude. Those people are some freaks.
Is it QAnon or QAnon?
Either way, they're both
whatever.
Fucking nuts.
Defense attorney sought to prove Camelo not guilty by reason of mental defect. December 2019, he refused to take a psychiatric exam and was warned by the judge that this refusal could jeopardize his right to use an insanity defense. The judge also denied a motion to suppress Camelo's initial confession. Anyways, he was convicted, or he was found mentally unfit to stand trial June 2020.
He's only sitting in a home right now.
Yep.
Acting like he's insane.
Until they...
or he probably is insane.
Until they can bring up charges on him when they reevaluate him every year. I'm sure they do it.
Wow.
What was that one? Ed Gein. Mm-hmm. They trial 20 years later or 15 years later.
Crazy shit, man.
Yeah, I had no idea about the QAnon stuff until I did this. I'm like, what?
Wow, I don't remember no stories about
Somebody trying to
arrest de Blasio and Maxine Waters. That's fucking insane.
Should have.
Wow. All right. Well, that was old Frank Cali, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Moving on. Lorenzo Mannino. They call him Lore. Lori?
Hey, Lore.
Lore?
Lorenzo. Lore.
Lorenzo.
What up, Lore?
Or Lore. All right. Can't call him Enzo.
Oh, I thought doing the last part of your name is dumb.
Right. He was born in 1959. He's a mobster, of course, according to the FBI. He was a powerful capo, and he was in the Gambino family.
So since we're doing the Gambino family, well, we're not doing the Gambino family, but
and he was in the Gambino family. Currently, he holds the position of front boss for Domenico Cefalu.
Which basically means he'll get arrested for anything, and Cefalu's good.
Right. 1994, Mannino pled guilty to drug trafficking and conspiring to murder Francisco Oliveri in 1988, and he was sentenced 15 years in prison. He was released in 2004.
Yeah, there's nothing on this guy. I told you guys. we just said 15 years of his life right there in one sentence.
Wow.
The 94 plea followed a 93 trial in which John Gambino, Joseph Gambino, and Matteo Romano were co-defendants, which ended in a mistrial in June 93 when the jury was unable to reach a verdict. Salvatore Gravano, Sammy the Bull, testified to the participation of John, Joseph, and Jingo Hammerschmidt and Mannino in the murder of Oliveri to a racketeering enterprise and the Gambino crime family's rule against drugs. Basically, Sammy the Bull said, yeah, they killed him.
Right. According to a 2007 New York Post article on the establishment of Cooperative Ventura with FBI agents stationed in Rome and Italian National Police working at the FBI headquarters in Washington, Mannino once tried to get Frank Sinatra to help crooner El Martino find work in Vegas and was a rising crime family star. Okay.
Crooner is a singer with performed smooth, intimate style.
Mr. Frank Sinatra, can you get my boy some help?
Get him a spot in Vegas, Frankie.
Get out of here. In March of 2019, Gambino soldier Paul Semplis was given a 28-month prison term for running a loan sharking operation after pleading guilty in October 2018 to loaning money to a stressed-out business owner and a gambling addict who wound up dying from a stroke. Semplis described beating one victim in a wiretapped call, and he told cooperating witnesses during a wiretap call that Mannino was his supervisor.
Okay. And
that's it.
That's all we have on Mannino, folks.
Wow.
So, basically, they just proved that Mannino was in the mob, calling shots. So, yeah, I told you guys nothing here for the last three bosses, which I guess they're in modern times, so ain't really nothing going to be happening like it was back in the day. So, crazy.
Well, they try and they get arrested.
Right? There's nothing. Yeah, they don't have time to. You're going to prison for 15 years. What are you going to do then? You don't have a story. You're getting out, and then you're going to prison in another year. Crazy. But
Insane.
nevertheless, our next episode is going to be a doubleheader with Agnello Della Croce.
Agnello Della Croce.
And if you recall, obviously, when Castellano took over, it was kind of like it was either going to be Castellano or Della Croce.
Right.
And then it ended up being Castellano, but Tommy Bellotti was named Castellano's underboss. So we got two sides of the coin on this one. We're going to do Della Croce and then Tommy Bellotti. And they both got pretty interesting stories. Actually, they were pretty good. And then
These guys hated Gotti, so.
Well, not in yellow.
In yellow.
Della Croce was Gotti's mentor.
Right. I hated him.
Well. And then after that, we'll get Frank DeChico, Joseph Armone, Roy DeMeo, who's got one of the longest Gambino member stories in here. Then we'll have Angelo Ruggiero, who's got one of the longer stories as well. And then we'll finish it up in a couple months with Sammy the Bull, who's the next...
Sammy the Bull.
The next 5 episodes are going to be pretty nice long ones for you guys. So we'll wrap it up with Sammy the Bull before we head on to either Lucchese's or the Columbos. One of them. Yeah. But, yeah. Next week, we're going to cover more of our Hell's Angels series.
Vroom, vroom.
We're either going to be profiling some...
and styling?
A bunch of notable crimes in the United States, California, Australia, Canada, United Kingdom, or the rest of the world. Or maybe we'll even profile George Christie next. Who knows? It's going to be one of those, but either or, every single one of those episodes is long. So.
Or one of those people are riding a motorcycle.
Right, all of them are. Right. And then we got a lot of our stuff, so just subscribe to our YouTube to get all of our good stuff, including Outlaws and Gunslingers.
Smorgasbord of fucking bullshit.
Battles of the American Civil War, our YouTube exclusive Dart League. If you just prefer Spotify, Apple, give us a review, share us with your friends, answer the Spotify question. We'll be back next week for some, the Biker Mafia, the Hells Angels. We are the Month of Michiganders.
Bang, dang.